In the late 90s through the 2000s emerged black fashion brands for some of our favorite artists, celebrities, and entrepreneurs. Everyone was either wearing it, seen it in movies and music videos, and or made us want to wear it. And while everything seemed promising for these brands at the beginning, their demise was quite predictable and almost inevitable. So what happened to these iconic urban fashion brands? Created in 1992, four friends from Hollis, Queens, Damon John, Carlton E. Brown, J. Alexander Martin, and Keith C. Perrin came together with one vision to defy the odds and create a line of sportswear made by the people who wore it, for us, by us. The founders of Fubu came up with the name when the four were brainstorming for a four-letter catchy brand name like Nike, for example. In 1992, John mortgaged his home for $100,000, and with that money, he and the other co-founders rebuilt half of his home, turning it into a factory. Fubu included casual wear, sportswear, suit collection, eyewear, belts, and shoes.
You had $40 and you turned your business into a $6 billion business.
Absolutely.
I mean,
You know, I had $40 and I stood on the corner on 1989 Good Friday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I made a bunch of hats that night prior and I sold $800 worth of hats in the first hour. And I remember saying to myself, I'm never gonna work for anybody ever again. Yeah, my mother told me everything. She taught me how to sew. She taught me how to sell. But when I ended up having about $300,000 worth of orders later on in my life for Fubu, she put up the house to manufacture the orders because I got turned down by 27 banks. So she went out and got a $100,000 loan on our house.
if you don't have social media at the time, which did not exist,
Right.
how do you, so, and you said you started on the street selling hats.
Yeah.
And then how did you get the word out without social media?
I moved up to T-shirts, and what I did was I had 10 T-shirts, and I live in Hollis, Queens, where a lot of rappers came from, LL Cool J, Salt and Pepper, Run DMC, and I'd go to every video set I could over the course of 10 years with the same 10 T-shirts, and I'd put the T-shirt on a wrapper, and then I'd take them back, and then I'd keep going back to the sets and putting them on a wrapper and taking them back. People started seeing them in the videos,
Yeah.
and then the rappers would start wearing it, but then I was always going out to see who was the more fashionable person, not the person who everybody knew, and they would tell me most of the time to get out of here. But then once I started getting on those people, they were giving me the feedback on what they wanted and what they didn't want. Same thing I do on Shark Tank.
A clothing store on Montego Bay on Queens Jamaican Avenue was one of the first to carry the Fubu line, then Macy's.
Hey, yo, Hype, we about to take fashion to a new level.
We the owners and designers.
We trendsetters.
Fubu can't get nothing but better. For the ladies,
You know we gotta keep the women in hot gear.
new styles, new
For
colors.
you, boo. F for the fine women wearing my
Yo, ladies, you know you looking hot.
sexy.
Did you see it?
You for the unbelievable styles that we got. What you thought we was just gonna hit you with jeans and t-shirts? B, believe it or not. When you thought that was it, you, it's for you, boo. Fubu, NBA, 99.
In 1995, after the Fubu founders attended a men's apparel show in Las Vegas, with samples tallying up to $300,000 worth of orders, and unbeknownst as how to fill the orders, John's mother suggested the founders advertise for an investor in the New York Times. South Korean company Samsung invested into Fubu. In 1997, LL Cool J starred in a Gap Inc. commercial wearing Fubu and incorporated the "For Us, By Us" in his rap lyrics. Production team was unaware by the phrase until the ad aired. This gave Fubu a publicity boost and Gap a street credibility.
1997, Gap was considered, sort of preppy, and they hired you to redefine a more cutting edge Gap. And you came in and shot that commercial wearing your Fubu hat. Yeah.
I know you like your outfit stylish, any other line but the Gap is childish. Everybody working there's your personal stylist. You're falling, once you hear the Gap calling, you can't resist the shopping, big ballin', not stopping, yes, y'allin'. Jeans popping in every mall in town and city. GAP, gritty, ready to go, for us, by us, on the low. G, that's for getting the A for always. P, that's for power and the people that praise. Backwards, P for popular, A for attitude. G, get it going, daddy, Gap is on the move. How easy is this?
I think a lot of people got a little pissed off with that, right?
Well, it's you know what? I'll put it to you like this. I was supporting this company. I was
Were you a
one of the
partner?
owners. Yeah, I was a partner in
Okay.
the company, and still am. And I wanted to support what we were doing. And, you know, I felt like, honestly, that Gap was big enough to handle that and not be hurt by it. And it worked out for everybody.
Yeah.
Because it didn't hurt them. It made them cool. And they didn't pull it. That I can give them credit for. They didn't pull it, and
When they figured it out.
Yeah, they didn't go into like a crazy tailspin about it once they did find it out. So whoever those executives are, because we didn't talk much back then, thank you for not, you know, they helped out a little fledgling company.
Yeah.
You know, they turned around, they gave back.
They gave back.
And we appreciate that.
Fubu has received many accomplishments. In 1998, Fubu grossed over $350 million in annual worldwide sales. They've received 2 NAACP awards, 2 congressional awards, the Pratt Institute Award, the Christopher Wallace Award, an online hip-hop award, and a citation of honor from the Queensborough president. In 2003, we started to see less of Fubu as the brand withdrew from the U.S. market and went overseas. Fubu also had a licensing deal with the NBA and called it Fubu NBA. In 2009, the company was worth an estimated $200 million. As of today, Fubu is still going on strong. They have collaborated with Puma and Forever 21, to say the least. Founded in 1999 by Rockefeller's co-founders Damon Dash and Jay-Z. With the rise of rapper Jay-Z, who wanted unique, stylish clothes to wear on tour and in his music videos, longtime friend Damon Dash, who had worked with Jay-Z and Kareem Burke to form Rockefeller Records in 1995, believed in urban clothing with Jay-Z as its frontman was a solid business opportunity. At Rockawear, Dash handled the business end while Jay-Z and Burke, known as Bigs in the rap world, continued to write and perform music and wear the apparel. A key factor in the success of the firm was Dash and Jay-Z's contacts in the music world. In 2000, Rockawear signed a deal with Midway Games and PlayStation 2 to design clothing line for Afro Thunder, character from the popular video game Ready to Rumble. The apparel line sold in Macy's stores and debuted late in the year, gaining popularity with the game's release. By mid-year, Dash and the crew were in Paris shooting an ad campaign featuring new Rockawear apparel. Models, rappers, and former Spice Girl Victoria Beckham shot around in Paris in the campaign Dash hoped would appeal to European consumers. Rockawear also opened an office in Amsterdam to handle its international interests. Rockawear established itself in the U.S. as an urban lifestyle brand, racking up sales to about $120 million. Rockawear unveiled a new slogan, "It's not where you're from, it's what you rock." In 2004, Dash was embroiled in controversy. It all started with rumors of Jay-Z's retirement and possible hiring as chief executive at Def Jam Records, which owned half of Rockefeller Records. Def Jam offered to buy out Jay-Z, Dash, and Burke's shares of Rockefeller. The partners received $10 million, and Rockefeller became wholly owned by Def Jam. Rockawear's new image took several hits. Dash was slapped with a lawsuit. Next came a meltdown of Rockawear's new marketing film and the upcoming incarceration of Beanie Sigel, frontman of the booming State of Property apparel line, on federal weapon charges. Rumors began about a rift between Dash and Jay-Z. Jay-Z became president and CEO of Def Jam. Part of the deal included Rockefeller Records without his founding partners. Jay-Z's new ownership in Rockefeller upset Dash and Burke. To make amends and keep the peace, it was reported Jay-Z offered his share of Rockefeller back to Dash and Burke if they would give him his sole rights to his first album. Throughout the drama, Rockawear continued to thrive. In November 2005, Dash fired his vice president of marketing and a dozen other staff members who commented to Daily News Record saying that Dash was difficult to work with and irrational. He told the magazine, "Not many people can understand my business, and I have high expectations." By September 2005, Dash was no longer willing to work with his partners, primarily Jay-Z, at Rockawear. He sold his interest in Rockawear, which had reached sales of over $700 million worldwide, for a total of about $30 million, with $22.5 million in cash and control of the State Property, Team Rock, and other brands. Dash maintained the breakup was due to philosophical differences. In an article about his departure, Dash said Jay's job was to wear the clothes and sing about them in his records. When he stopped promoting the brand, I had to step in, but I never wanted to be the face of the company. I just wish he would have come to work before. The company would have been twice what it is now. I never thought I could have so much money so quickly, and have no doubt that Rockawear will continue to be successful. The company was my idea, and now they're driving the car that I built. In March 2007, Jay-Z sold the rights to be Rockawear brand to Iconics Brand Group for $204 million. Jay-Z to retain his position in the company and to continue to oversee the marketing, licensing, and product development. In November 2018, Jay-Z successfully halted a $204 million lawsuit between Roc Nation and Iconics. It's not sure if Rockawear will make a huge comeback like it did back in the day. Created by music executive Russell Simmons, in 1992, Simmons launched the clothing line Phat Fashions LLC using the Phat Farm and Baby Phat labels. When Simmons first created Phat Fashions LLC, the clothing line was sold in a shop in the Soho district of Manhattan. Simmons' connections with well-known rap artists helped to promote the clothing line to a wide audience. The influence of designs such as Ralph Lauren and Tommy Hilfiger gave the clothing line a classic look and feel. Phat Fashions encompassed hip-hop clothing for women and children as well as men, and grew into a lifestyle brand with the addition of jewelry, perfume, and other merchandise. Phat Farm boosted Simmons' net worth to $600 million, and the clothing line was carried into as many as 3,000 retail outlets in the U.S. That included Macy's and Bloomingdale's. Phat Farm quickly became a uniform for hip-hop fans and a multi-million-dollar business. Oversaturation in the market, Russell Simmons actually claimed, is the major factor for the demise of Phat Farm. Rappers like Snoop Dogg came up with SDC, Nelly had Vocal and Apple Bottom, Eminem had Shady Wear, the Wu-Tang Clan had Whipped Up Woo Wear, and there were many others. In 2004, Simmons sold Phat Farm and Baby Phat to Kelwood Company for $140 million. Sean John came into the market in 1998, created by music executive Sean Combs. Sean John included sportswear, tailored suiting, dress shirts, ties, hosiery, eyewear, children's wear, fragrances, timepieces, outerwear, underwear, loungewear, cold weather, accessories, headwear, and footwear. Sean John launched Combs into fashion success with his 2001 New York Fashion Week show, becoming the first televised runway in history.
We're a designer jean company first and foremost, and we just grow and grow and grow, go to next levels and heights you wouldn't expect us to go to. We kind of give you the unexpected. We're not a hip-hop line because I'm a hip-hop artist. This is not a celebrity line that I just attach my name to. I designed the line, and also I studied and I know the business as far as the materials. Like one of the trademark things is my fit. The fit and also the style, the way it makes you feel, what it turns you into. It's almost like Superman's cape. When he throws his cape on, the level of confidence that it gives you. We throw a pair of Sean John jeans on, it just lifts your level of confidence. It makes you feel like you can conquer the world.
Since its launch, Sean John enjoyed critical and commercial success with revenues exceeding $525 million annually. Sean John has appeared at the awards ceremony for the Council of Fashion Designs of America, CFDA, held annually in New York for 5 consecutive years from 2000 to 2005. Sean John was nominated for its excellence in design. His clothing line was taken more seriously by the likes of the clothing industry giants such as Anna Wintour, who even graced his runway shows with her presence, ultimately resulting in Combs winning the CFDA award for the Menswear Designer of the Year in 2004. In May 2010, Sean John made a distribution agreement with Macy's department store. Macy's and Macy's.com will be the sole distributor of Sean John sportswear at the retail and online level. As part of this agreement, Sean John and Macy's expanded the Sean John brand distribution to many more Macy's stores and ordered into exclusive marketing partnerships with the NBA. Sean John went through some major losses between 2008 and 2010, with sales falling from $525 million to $350 million. Combs sold majority of his stake in Sean John in 2016 to Global Brands Group Holding, a company specializing in celebrity apparel lines that have filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, placing Sean John and his other assets up for auction. John collaborated with UK retailer Missguided for a women's collection with Bia as the face of the line. In an article explaining the importance of being the face of Sean John, Bia says, "I remember how iconic Sean John was to me growing up. It represents a hip-hop legacy that I feel empowered in. This whole collection is my style. I pride myself on being able to dress in baggy clothes while still being sexy. I love what Missguided represents and how they empower me to be my true self. I think that really shines through in the campaign. December of 2021, Diddy won ownership back with a $7.5 million bid in an auction to save Sean John from bankruptcy. I launched Sean John in 1998 with the goal of building a premium brand that shattered tradition and introduced hip-hop to high fashion on a global scale. Seeing how streetwear has evolved to rewrite the rules of fashion and impact culture across categories, I'm ready to reclaim ownership of the brand, build a team of visionary designers and global partners to write the next chapter of Sean John's legacy. The hip-hop clothing culture floated on the Who's Hot riverbed, essentially meaning whichever rap artist was putting forth the brand at any given time had to be relevant to the mainstream music culture at that particular time. All apparels from different designers started to look the same. Enlarged logos on the front of every t-shirt, hoodies, and sweatshirts, very little brand differentiation. Over the years, fashion trends tend to fade and a new one emerges. Some of these companies failed to capitalize on rebranding their look and is the sole reason why they went out of business. Lastly, the evolution of fast fashion over the years, many competitors emerged and stole looks from one another, selling their merchandise at more affordable and cheaper costs. Consumers were suddenly able to have access to copies of the high-end designs they saw in magazines, unfortunately replacing these companies we once knew. Alright guys, so that's the end of this video. Comment down below on which of these fashion brands did you wear growing up and or would like to see make a comeback or excited to see make a comeback. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.